What's up, guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 1990 Volkswagen Jetta. Up front is a 2.8-liter V6, and down below is a 5-speed manual transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this Jetta because it has been VR6 swapped. If you're unfamiliar, a VR6 is a Volkswagen engine that is a 6-cylinder, but it is such a shallow V. It's a 15-degree V engine that it basically ends up being almost a compact inline 6. It sounds weird, it makes good power. This car was never supposed to get this engine, and yet it has it here today, and I'm excited to share it with you. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that VR6 under the hood. Well, it, along with a lot of other parts of this vehicle, were actually pulled from a Volkswagen Corrado. At the wheels, it was dynoed at about 168 horsepower, which might not sound like a lot, but the car as a whole only weighs about 2,400 pounds, and you make a lot of torque. Now, this is the 12-valve engine. There was also a 24-valve. This is the 12-valve, and that actually has better torque down low. It also uses the Corrado's thicker radiator, and with the 5-speed manual, it actually has the gears from a 16-valve 4-cylinder engine because they're a lot shorter. So this thing can rip through gears quite a bit. Last but not least about the drivetrain, it of course is front-wheel drive. How does it feel to drive? Well, I've been saving my first pull to do it live on video to see how it goes, so let's see. All right, here we go. Yeah! That'll do it. Oh, lordy me! Now, the tachometer doesn't work, so I don't really know where to shift. So I apologize if you're screaming at your TV saying, Zach, you short shifted it. I apologize. So I was short shifting. Jiminy crickets! Ay caramba, man. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 gauges. Off to the left is my speedometer, and off to the right is the tachometer, coolant temperature, and fuel. On the steering wheel, we don't get anything except for the Volkswagen badge and the horn. That still works. Love to see that, or hear that. And off to the left, we do have our fog light switch, and a climate control vent. And moving on to the door, we do have manual mirror adjustments and manual windows. I really like this almost carpeting that they put on the door. I think it actually looks kind of cool. Moving into the center, we do have an aftermarket radio and our climate controls. Very rudimentary, very basic. Off to the left, we do have rear defrost and hazard switch. And then we have 2 climate control vents. We have a little cubby with a pull-out ashtray and cigarette lighter. And then down below, we have a big cubby and what looks like a bunch of dead switches. These literally do nothing. Not totally sure what they're for, but I guess it's nice to see here in the Mark II. Then we get the shifter. The shift knob is from a lot more modern of a Volkswagen vehicle, as you might notice. Looks good, feels good. I like it. And then we do have a handbrake. We don't have any native cup holders here in the Mark II Jetta, so unfortunately, yet incredibly predictably, it fails the big friggin' bottle test. The seats are aftermarket Recaro seats. They are absolutely lovely, even for a big guy like me. I really, really enjoy them. They work well, and I don't have any complaints. However, speaking of seats, even though this is a coupe, we do have back seats. So let's go do a back seat review. Getting in the back of the Mark II Jetta. All right, and we're back here. Ashtray, or just single ashtray over here. The seats themselves, the material, actually very comfortable. I actually quite like it. I do have a grab handle, which honestly for this VR6 swap, I don't know why I said it like that. VR6, VR6, VR, Can you tell it's the end of the day? VR6 swap. I might actually need these to hold on for dear life. Back seats are usable. You know, they also did sell a sedan of the Mark II Jetta, so you can kind of tell that it shares a wheelbase and things like that. This would be fine to ride in back here. We can even put the seats back. There we go. I would enjoy it quite a bit from back here. Let's hop into the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk, and then we got to get back to driving this thing because that's where it's at, if I'm being honest. All right, around the back of the Jetta. Lift it up like that. And of course the trunk liner's gone. We have a sub box. This is a very 2010s build of a Volkswagen, if you couldn't tell by the pallet, roof rack, stickers, and lack of trunk liner with big subwoofer. It's fine. It's actually a pretty sizable trunk. I'm pretty happy with that. But otherwise, there it is. That is the trunk of the Mark II Jetta with a beast sitting up front. Now we got to talk about the looks. This is finished in a very interesting premium plastidip. I forget the name of it, but it's like professional grade plastidip. However, under it is actually Fahrenheit orange from the Fahrenheit GTI, and under that is the original color of red. I like the look of the Jetta. I think it looks good. I think it works well. I think it's handsome and presentable. And that's all I can really ask for. I think part of all of this is that sound. It has a 6-cylinder sound, and that sound I'm not used to hearing out of vehicles like this. It sounds agitated, but like in a very precise way. It feels like I'm stuck in the Jetta's crosshair rather than its best friend. It has set its sights on me, and I am just along for the ride. And boy, do I have very little say when it comes to what the front wheels are doing. You want to talk about torque steer? This wrote the book on torque steer. This has a PhD, an MD, and a big raging D. At the end of the day, look, is this enough to really get you in trouble? No, it's putting sub 200 horsepower to the wheels. But with that weight distribution, with its odd antics and characteristics, you don't really know what's gonna happen. It keeps you very engaged, very excited, while you might not have a voice or a sway in the opinion of the VR6. At least you're there to witness it, more than a lot others can say. Just like second gear. As it tried to just steer me into the ditch. Stop it! No, Jetta! Bad Jetta! No! Let me be! But then again, when we fight, it's when I feel the most alive. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the 1990 Jetta with a VR6 swap? Well, I want to give quick thoughts on the Jetta itself. This thing is really cool. I think the interior was like still very utilitarian, which was Volkswagen's older ways. Every switch looks like a switch. Every dial looks like a dial. This is very Volkswagen-y. But now let's talk about the VR6 swap. And boy, is it good. The VR6 is such a good engine. And it breathes life into this chassis that I don't think it came from the factory. As I said with the driving portion, the biggest thing about this car is that it feels alive and it feels like you're a part of the conversation. This car has an attitude, and sometimes I'm on its good side, but others I'm on its bad side, but that's what keeps me on my toes. There's a lot of things I have to do to get this car to drive correctly. I have to keep it out of the ditch and counter steer it as it tries to go forward. I don't have a working tach, so I gotta figure out when to shift. I gotta listen and hear the engine and power start to die off. Then I know that it's ready to shift. I have to physically do the shifting. The clutch is very heavy because it is cable driven and not hydraulic. But even though I have to do everything, I have to spoon feed this VR6. It doesn't care about the aftermath. It will kill me if it wants to. However, at the end of the day, we shake hands. Me and the VR6 swap Jetta aren't mortal enemies. We get mad at each other in the heat of battle, but at the end of the day, we're going back to the same building. We're living under the same roof. There's a mutual respect, but respect does not mean safety. Respect does not mean regard for life. Respect is a handshake and eye contact, but nothing more. And sometimes I feel like this Jetta is holding a katana behind its back. Sometimes I feel like this Jetta might be waiting for me with a Care Bear or a Labubu. But the sheer fact that I don't know which one it is what makes this car so good. This car is a wild card. It is unpredictable. And when things are unpredictable, you have to stick to your own guns and you have to have faith in yourself. This car gives me confidence because I was able to tame it. I was able to slay the VR6 Dragon. And that is what I'm going to take home with me. I have a 6-hour drive home after filming this video, and you bet your bottom dollar I'm gonna be thinking about this car the entire way home. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Cody for letting me borrow his VR6 swap Jetta for today's video. What an absolute beast of an automobile. Cody has been a great friend of mine for years and years and years. He has had this car for years and years and years, and I'm so thankful that we were able to put something together, put the pen to paper, and get a video out on what a magnificent automobile this is. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.